Hey, good people, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving you all my review on the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 7, Episode 11. It's 7-11, y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm corny as I don't know what. But yes, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. I'm going to tell you one thing for sure. Miss Karen Huger was doing her thing in the confessionals. I think she had a good time talking about Robyn and Gizelle and their whole podcast. I don't even know what you want to call it. They had a podcast production, live production, if you will. And yeah, Karen was just having her way in her confessional about that. Mia and Jackie, girl, y'all are definitely holding back. It is clear and evident to me that you guys have more than just a best friend type of relationship. I mean, I thought that when Jackie first came onto the scene, and now for sure, 100%, you can't make me doubt that these two have something going on with one another and possibly, potentially, Gordon. When the episode opens up, Karen is going over Giselle's house. This is her first time inside of Giselle's house. If you guys remember last year, Giselle had this outside construction site party, and that was Karen's first introduction to her new property. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people don't like Giselle's house, but I think it's okay. Like, I would not mind living there myself, honestly. I don't see anything falling apart. Everything, for the most part, looks to be in working order. Now, her whole decor situation, not really for me. Like Karen said in her confessional, the chandelier when you walk in is nice. Aside from that, I don't really like the pieces that she picked for her place. For all intents and purposes, it does look like a really nice place. I love the natural light and I love all of the windows. I think it's nice, okay? Y'all don't come for me in the comment section. Karen came bearing Gucci gifts for Giselle's daughter. She missed, I guess, the gift-giving part of their Sweet 16 party. I have to give Giselle credit. Giselle's children are very sweet young ladies. They are very gracious young women, and the way that they accepted Karen's gift and just greeted her in general was so sweet to see. They're really sweethearts. Giselle says in her confessional that she believes that if she and Karen can stay where they are right now in their relationship, then they'll be okay. They can move forward in the progression of their relationship. I'm not going to lie, I actually enjoy when Karen and Giselle are at a good place with one another. And I also do enjoy when they're being shady to each other. It's like, I love it either way. But I do love when they can just sit down as they're doing right now, as they're doing in this episode, and have a nice kiki with one another. I do really enjoy that. So Giselle asks Karen how she and Mia is doing, and Karen says something that I just don't understand. She says that they're good. The thing that she appreciates most about Mia is that when she is wrong, she owns it. Okay, Karen, if that is true, why has she yet owned her part in the whole Wendy situation? Okay? Because the way that she handled Wendy, she should have known immediately that she was wrong. I know that I'm kind of beating on a dead horse because that was a couple of episodes ago, but I think it's worth mentioning. I do not feel like Mia is the type of woman who owns her stuff when she is wrong. I think when the fans watch these episodes and then they come for her, then she tries to make everything all nice and sweet. But I don't really get the vibe from Mia that she just owns something straight out. I just don't. Sorry. Karen goes on to also say that she does not like the fact that Jacqueline finishes Mia's sentences. Listen, I agree with Karen. Mia is a grown woman. She has no issue being able to articulate herself. She does not need Jacqueline there to kind of be her spokesperson. She's a big girl and can handle herself. So now Giselle decides to talk to Karen about the type of relationship that she believes Mia and Jackie have. Of course, we know that Giselle thinks that Jackie, Mia, and Gordon are in a throuple. And listen, after watching this episode and seeing how these women are conducting themselves, and even prior to this episode, Giselle is not far off from that being the truth, in my opinion. It's not looking good for Mia and Jacqueline. Okay, let's just call a spade a spade. So Karen is getting all of this information from Giselle about when Mia shared with Giselle, Robin, and I believe it was Ashley, that she and Jacqueline have actually, well, that she allowed Jacqueline to have relations with one of her ex-boyfriends. And this kind of shocked Karen, like, say what now? So Giselle is telling all of that tea. She's talking about how she saw Mia and Jackie in the shower together. And Karen's like, well, if they were in the window, that means that they wanted to be seen. That's a great point, Karen. In the next scene, it is 5 a.m. and we see that Wendy is in the emergency room. She has a 9-centimeter kidney stone that needs to be removed. I thought a couple of episodes ago, Wendy talked about having to get surgery to have her kidney stones removed, but I'm assuming that she never got that done because here we are in the emergency room. In the next scene, and I think that this was a complete wasted scene, almost like an episode filler, if you will. Ashley is at home and she's talking to her nanny about the fact that Michael found a potential house for her to live in with her kids. She's going to go visit and see what this house is all about. She is excited, but also kind of questioning what their relationship, her and Michael, that is going to be once she is in the house. Like, is he going to be coming and spending the night? What is that dynamic going to look like? And I mean, I don't know. I don't know, and I honestly don't care. I don't know why this scene is in this episode at all, to be honest with you. Next up, we are with Giselle and Robin, and they are meeting at the venue that they plan to have their Reasonable Shady live podcast at. This place apparently seats 400 people, and Robin is concerned about how empty the place is going to be because from the looks of it, I think they only have secured 120 people. They have no sponsors. They spent $10,000 out of their own money. She feels as if they needed to have sold at least another 89 tickets. Listen, this is their first live event. I think when you do something for the first time, obviously you're going to learn from your mistakes. I'm really rooting for her and Giselle. I know that a lot of people probably don't agree with that, but I really want them to succeed. So they start to talk about this role that Juan is supposed to play in this whole live podcast. I'm not really sure, after watching him play his role, what the purpose of that was. I've never listened to their podcast, so I don't really know. Y'all gonna have to help me out with that. Giselle wants to know from Robin what's going on with the wedding. She doesn't know anything about a date. She hasn't heard anything. She's like, what's going on? Robin lets her know that she hasn't even thought about the wedding yet. There is no dates. They still have stuff to figure out. Robin, girl, you are sending conflicting stories, okay? Because just the other episode, you was telling Karen that it's just going to be a situation where it's you, Juan, and your boys. Now you're over here telling Giselle you don't have a date. What's going on? Okay? Like, I personally don't believe that it's happening at all. And her telling two different stories does not help me feel any way different. It just doesn't. You guys let me know what you feel about that. So now we are at Candace's Insecure video shoot, and kudos to Candace. Okay, Candace is doing the daggone thing. She is in like her little waiting room doing crunches. Her mom Dorothy is there. She's getting herself mentally and physically prepared to shoot this video with Trina. I think it's a big deal that she does have Trina on this record. For someone who is a housewife, as she mentions, this is how we were introduced to her. For her to have someone like a Trina on your song is major. She does reveal in her confessional that her greatest challenge is having people view her as an artist and not as a housewife. And it is going to be a great challenge because there are certain people that look at housewives as just somebody who's good for reality TV and doesn't really have any talents or skills outside of that show. But I think out of all of the housewives, Candace is going to be the exception to that perception of these women because look at where she's at right now. And she's just starting out. So the sky is really the limit for her. And not only that, girlfriend can really sing. Okay, so that helps as well. Now we're over at Robin's house. She and Juan start to talk about the wedding. Juan says that he has left everything up to Robin. It's her day. She can do whatever she wants. They both kind of agree that they do want this to be a memorable time for both themselves as well as their children. And of course, why would you not want that? Robyn then kind of eases into this whole discussion regarding the prenup and possible infidelity clause that she wants to put into the prenup. And Juan is not really feeling it. He's like, we don't need it. We're good. You can kind of just see that these two really don't trust each other. Robyn doesn't trust that Juan can stay faithful, and Juan doesn't trust what she's going to try to put in this prenup or how she might act if they get a divorce. To me, this is a situation where it's like, are y'all really ready to be married if you feel so strongly about these outside things? And if you have assets that need to be protected, I get it, but I don't really know. She does mention in her confessional that when they did get their divorce, he was already dating someone else and there was kind of some contention there. But it was just based on the fact that he was dating someone else, not on money, because at the time they did not have any money to argue over. I'm not sure about these two. I believe that they're going to get married? Absolutely not. I think, that she's wanted to be married for so long after their divorce. And once they got their relationship back on track, that now she's just kind of over it. Like, okay, I'm not even interested anymore. So we'll have to see how this whole thing plays out between these two. But I'm telling you right now, if this is how they're headed into their marriage, it's not a good sign. Finally, we get an update on Wendy. She's just getting home. I think she's getting home from a doctor's visit because she does say in her confessional that both of her procedures, she actually had 2 procedures regarding her kidney stones in 1 week. So she does say that both of these procedures were outpatient procedures, so she was able to come home right after. Her mom is there helping out, and her mom is a trip. Girlfriend is in there trying to cook pork chops, give Wendy wine. It's like a whole mess. It's kind of interesting though, because after you have surgery or have children, a lot of the times you might have a family member, specifically a mother or a mother-in-law. I know for me it was my mother-in-law when I had my first son. She came over and it's like the thought, in my opinion, is they're trying to be helpful, but they wind up being less helpful because they're doing things that are so uncomfortable for you. For example, when my first child was born, my mother-in-law decided she wanted to come over to the house and cook. My thing is, girl, I just had a C-section. Can you just make the food at your house, bring it over so we can warm it up and keep it moving? Like, why are you in my kitchen asking where the pots and pans are and asking for this and asking for that? And I'm just trying to lay down with this new baby and figure out this whole motherhood thing. I was kind of reminded of that when I'm watching Wendy and her mom. Wendy's mom is in there trying to cook this meal that Wendy cannot even eat because she just had surgery. She's trying to give her wine, and it's like, girl, you are being less helpful than what I need you to be. Not to mention the fact that at the end of this whole scene, her mother brings up the fact that she wants to have her breasts redone. And I'm like, girl, can Wendy properly recover from these kidney stones before you start talking about having your boobs done? Like, haven't we already been through this conversation before? She'll pay for it when she gets a chance, okay? Calm down. So I thought that was just really interesting. Over in the next scene, Karen arrives at Mia's house. Mia and her daughter are over there baking cookies. Karen tells Mia about her conversation with Giselle. She wants to know from Mia, like, what's the situation between you and Jackie? Mia says that we have done some weird, promiscuous things before, but we've never done the do. Now, see, I'm with Karen. Karen was like, well, what is weird and promiscuous if you guys have not, done the do? Mia says, well, I took a flashlight down there to look at her lady parts. I'm like, Mia, you a daggone lie. She talking about she's never kissed Jackie or anything like that. Come on now. Do we look like Bobo the Fool? Does Karen look like Bobo the Fool? I'm like, okay, Mia, whatever you say. Karen also brings up this question that she has regarding Mia and Gordon. Have they done something with another party? She specifically asked about Peter, and Mia's like, no, we never did anything with Peter, but we did do something with his girlfriend. So I'm like, hold up. Let me get this straight. You and Peter's girlfriend and Gordon had a little situation? What? I'm just not understanding that. She goes on to tell Karen that it was actually before Peter met this girlfriend. So from what I'm gathering, she and Gordon introduced this woman to Peter. And you want us to believe that you, Peter, Gordon, and this woman have never had any relations with one another. Yeah, no, I'm not buying it. I'm not. You guys let me know what y'all feel about that. So now this is the event that we've all been waiting for. It is Giselle and Robin's live podcast event. Karen comes and she's making jokes throughout this whole particular scene about the empty venue that they have. When Giselle and Robin are announced, the announcer makes a mistake and calls Robin Ryan instead of Robin Dixon. So at this point, Karen has a whole checklist of things that she does not want to do for her talk show or whatever it is that she's putting together. So Robin and Giselle make their grand entrance and Robin's mic is not working. They ask Juan to come up and join them and I'm like, what is he here to do? Because they ask him some question about him waking up early in the morning and if he's going to be vacuuming or doing something like that. I was completely confused during this particular point in time. So if you guys can help unconfuse me, I'd be grateful to get an understanding as to why they asked this man to come up on stage. Because to me, he gave absolutely nothing. One of the other segments, they have Ashley coming up there doing different dances and they're dancing with her. This is a whole mess. Like, this is what you guys want to fill up your time doing? Seriously? I still applaud them for at least trying to do a live episode. I think that is, a step in the right direction, if you will. They do actually open it up to the audience where the audience can kind of ask questions. And one of the questions that one of the audience members ask is if Robin and Juan have a date for their wedding. Robin says you're just going to have to stay tuned on that one. Giselle says, okay, that's a wrap. And that is the end of their live podcast. It ends with us still not knowing what the heck Juan and Robin are doing. Are we surprised? I'm not. Robin says in her confessional that she feels as if the show was a huge success. They profited $14,000. Giselle says she believes they could take this show anywhere. She's ready. So this is probably not going to be the first time that they do an actual live podcast. Nor should it be. I think that you should always build and do greater things the next time around. In Mia's confessional, she says that it is a step up from the driveway event that they had last year. I agree with her. It definitely is. When the women come up and they greet Karen, Karen straight up lies to them and tells them that the show was really good, but she does also say she fell asleep a little bit. So she did throw some shade in there and she also had a moment of honesty. We saw what they were doing throughout the live podcast. They really were not paying it much attention. Giselle asked Jackie about when they were on the beach in Miami what Mia meant by the fact that if she wins, meaning if Mia wins, then Jackie wins as well. And if you remember, Mia made mention of a Porsche. Pretty much Giselle wants to know if Mia brought Jacqueline this Porsche. Jacqueline says, I make my own coins. Like, no, she did not. Giselle continues to press and she says, well, isn't that what Mia said? Here goes Charisse. I remember she did say that. These women just straight up lie, okay? Jackie says, can we phone a friend? Like, that's not what Mia said. She's sticking to her story. So Giselle is like, no, the friend is right here talking about Charisse. Charisse nor Giselle are reliable when it comes to telling the truth. So as we all know, take what they say with a grain of salt. Giselle keeps pressing Jacqueline and she wants to know who brought her the car. She says that she knows that Mia likes to watch when Gordon has relations with other women. And Giselle asks Jackie if she's ever said to Mia, pick me to be with Gordon. This prompts Jackie to tell Giselle, girl, you're going to have to ask Mia, okay? I'm not spilling no tea like that. At this point, Ashley comes over and she kind of interrupts this line of questioning. Giselle fills her in on the whole convo that they're having, and then they bring Mia into the mix. Mia says that Jackie's car is in her name. Robin says in her confessional that Juan has brought several people cars when he was playing in the NBA, and those cars were in their name as well. So what does that really mean? Jackie wants to clarify, and I swear Jackie always wants to clarify something, and she says that Mia could probably buy her Porsche, but Mia did not buy the Porsche for her. Giselle goes on to say, oh, I was thinking that Gordon brought it. And Mia drops the bomb and says, what you talking about Gordon for? He don't got no money. Say what, Mia? So when you and Gordon got together, he didn't have any money? Okay, girl, whatever you want us to believe. Giselle brings up the conversation that she and Mia had about Mia allowing her boyfriend and Jackie to hook up. And Mia's like, oh, you remember that? I thought you was drunk. Girl, you thought wrong. Giselle did not miss a beat. Giselle says that when she asked Jackie, Jackie told her to ask Mia. So now Mia is like, wait a minute. Okay, 2 and 2 is clicking for her at this particular point in time. She sees what's going on, and I see it too. I'm like, hold up. So Giselle has Jackie over here, and Robyn had Mia on the other side, and they were both working these women, all for Giselle to get the information from Jackie. That's what was going on. We already know how messy Giselle and Robyn are. So Mia says, you know, me and Jacqueline, we kind of have to get our stories together before we talk to you two. So I'm like, okay, girl, you telling on yourself. You're basically saying that you guys have to get your lies together. That's how it's coming across to me. Y'all let me know what you think. Giselle then asks Mia why she never allowed Jackie to get it in with Gordon, and Jackie pipes right up and she's like, because we're friends and you know Gordon's not really my type. So Charisse then says, well, if Gordon was your type, would that be okay? And she's looking at Mia. So at this point, Mia is like, listen, y'all done been questioning me, asking me all this stuff. I can't take no more questions. So she's just like done with everything. Giselle says, I'm just going to table this conversation. Jackie asks her, well, do you think that there's more to the story? And that's pretty much the end of this episode. We don't know what Giselle feels. At least we haven't heard her confirm that that's what she feels. Like there is more to the story. We're going to find out next week how she views the whole situation. But based upon what she's already said in her confessional, we know that she feels like there is more to this story. And I'm sorry, Mia and Jacqueline, they did not help themselves during this episode. I have more questions than I have answers. I think a lot of us probably do. And like I said earlier, I think it's clear and evident that these two have something going on. If not with just each other, then it definitely is a throuple. You guys let me know what you felt about this episode. I thought it was all right. Of course, all the drama happened towards the end, as it always does. That is reality TV for you guys. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.